Hello, my name is Ocampo, and for my final project, I made Star Trek again. In this game, you play as a mother who is attending one of the first fan conventions of the time. In this idea, the purpose of this game is to ask and navigate how women in different settings were seen in different spaces. The primary space I wanted to explore was within fandom spaces, alongside the traditional professional and home spaces. This idea came about when we were reading about Gamergate and how women in gaming have become how women in gaming have become more prevalent as we go on. In that, I wanted to have a similar idea, but instead of online spaces and more fantastical settings, I decided to use the setting of 70s America and Star Trek conventions to set up an interesting story on how women influenced fandom and how we feel that today. For points that I did like, overall, I think I did hit the points I wanted to hit with my game. Portraying the main character of Jean as someone who with their own agency in an era where people were choosing their paths and how they did that in their lives. For points of improvement, there's a couple of points that I've noted myself that I would like to improve upon for my final draft. Firstly, I feel like my writing is a bit literal, having less nuance than what I wanted. On top of that, there's a couple of technical things that I haven't implemented into yet, such as a map system, an inventory system, and more in-depth puzzles for the story. In that, I think having those would have more quality of life for the player, alongside having greater depth of the story and the themes I want to portray with this. Currently, I think the best part of my draft is at the end of the second act here. Let's share that here, where upon completing your job, um, you are confronted by your boss at the end about your interests. So fine here it's just like you're just finally able to relax, and then right after you're told that your folder that you have all your original drawings in that you were gonna make copies of at your job are in the hands of your boss because of your coworker. Here, I sort of just wanted to portray the boss as someone who is more traditionally masculine. And in that, I wanted to showcase how Jean, a woman, navigated this and how she dealt with people with a man judging her interests, and how her own determination was more steadfast than their judgment. And that so that's what I'm doing for work, and sort of just like that this interest of her for Star Trek isn't like a greater thing. It's just an interest like that you and me would have. And in that, I think that would be like the strongest thing. That's like one of the strongest things we have today. And for that, I wanted to reflect that in a previous sense when fandom was just starting out. And here, just sort of just like mad because she felt like she was judged. But with that, I think I portrayed that overcame. Excuse me. Suddenly. She portrayed how her interests were her own, and nobody should shame her for that. And then in that, it concludes the second act into the final act being going to the actual convention. With that, I'd like to say thank you for watching my presentation about my game, Star Trek Again.